Big up everyone. What is happening? TLP, the Liverpool Prophet, back again with another match preview. You know what it is, people. It is officially that time of the week again where we look ahead and preview to the Premier League game that Liverpool will be facing this weekend. So, this weekend we take a trip up to the coast to take on Bournemouth away at the Vitality Stadium. It's interesting going into this game because I genuinely don't know what type of Liverpool will turn up and how Liverpool will perform on the night. So, of course, going to give you guys my thoughts and feelings ahead of the game. Going to give you guys my predicted lineup, and of course, going to give you guys my score prediction as well. So, before we get into it, do drop a like if you are enjoying, or if you're watching it back and haven't already done so. Do drop a like. Do sub to the channel. We are now only 8 subs away from 600 people. So if you can subscribe, it's so appreciated. So do sub to the channel, people, and of course turn notifications on as well, so you know whenever future content drops. Having said all of that, let's waste no more time and get straight into the match preview. So Bournemouth versus Liverpool away from home. Now, I'll start off with the reverse fixture, which was actually the opening game of the season. Obviously, Liverpool, we kicked off the 25-26 campaign with a home game against Bournemouth, in which we won 4-2. But I'll be honest, was it a comfortable 4-2? No, it wasn't. Bournemouth came, didn't really have any fear, attacked us, and pushed us all of the way in that game. That was 2-2, and we needed two late goals to win us the game. So it was an edgy game in the first time we played each other on opening night. And I could see something similar again. Obviously, at the time, Bournemouth still had Anton Semenyo playing for them. They now no longer have him, so he's going to be a miss. Obviously, he's moved to Manchester City. However, that opening game, Bournemouth didn't really sit back. Like we all know, a lot of teams will low block it against Liverpool, but opening day, didn't really know how Bournemouth were going to approach it. But they actually came and tried to play football at Anfield. So I will always respect them. I'll always respect the team that comes to Anfield, win or lose, tries to play, because it takes guts to do that. And they did that on the opening night. Defensively, we had our problems then. Kanate, of course, had a very poor game on the night. Defensively, we were on it. But it was opening night, and it was a much better Bournemouth back then than it is now. Like I said, at the time, they had Semenyo. Semenyo really is their main outfit, or was their main outfit in the attack. With him gone, it'll be a very different game this time around. But you look at the beginning of the season, Liverpool were in a much different position than we were now, as were Bournemouth, to be fair. Opening night, we all had our expectations for the season. We're going to retain the league, go deep in the Champions League, and do well in the two domestic cups. Bournemouth, of course, would have had their aspirations to try and get into Europe this season, a Europa League, Conference League, or anything like that. So aspirations and circumstances were very different when we played each other. Nonetheless, it was still a very good game, a 6-goal thriller to open the Premier League campaign up. We got the 3 points, but we had to work for it. We had to work for the 3 points we got. This time around, however, like I said, very different circumstances. Bournemouth were actually having a relatively decent season around November time, up until around November. Since then, they've majorly collapsed. I believe they lost 3-1 away at the Etihad to Manchester City. Since then, they've gone on a very, very poor run. I believe they were second at some point in the table. They've now dropped right down to 15th. So they've completely collapsed this season. Why that is, I don't know. Semenyo, of course, the goals dried up for him. And I think you see when Semenyo doesn't score for Bournemouth, or when Semenyo doesn't really create anything, they're not a they're not a very dangerous outfit, should I say. They don't really offer much more. Semenyo is their main target man. And with him gone, it'll be very interesting to see how they get on now in this game and for the rest of the season. But they were doing very well up until the 3-1 loss away at the Etihad. Since then, they've been very poor. Lost 4-0 to Villa. Other than that, they have had a couple of decent results in there. They pushed Arsenal all the way, although they did lose. They did beat Spurs. Got a good result against Chelsea away. So there have been some decent results in there, but the consistency is gone. The nice football that they were playing at the beginning of the season has kind of dissolved and evaporated, and they've kind of turned into a mid-table team, which is a shame, because I think Bournemouth are a very nice team. They're a very nice club. They have a nice set of fans. It's always nice going up to the coast. So it's just saying that their season has kind of collapsed the way it has. But look, end of the day, that's not our problem, is it? Our job is to go there and get the 3 points. And of course, I think their manager is a good manager, Andona Iraola. Now, I think he is a little bit overhyped personally. I know some people might not agree with it, but I do feel Areola is a tad bit overrated by certain, well, I say certain, by quite a couple of people in certain fan bases. Now, he's a good coach, don't get me wrong. He's come into Bournemouth, he's done very well, developed the likes of Kirkes, the likes of Semenyo, other players too. He's developed them very well and turned them into very good players. But I don't think he's ready for a big job yet. I was seeing people talking about him as a slot replacement potentially. I was seeing United fans wanted him, City fans wanted him. I don't agree with that personally. I think he's a good manager for where he is at Bournemouth. I think even at Spurs he could do well, but I think he's a manager who wouldn't be able to cut it at a big club. You look at what's happening to Thomas Frank right now at Spurs. Did very well for Brentford. Had a very, very successful time period there. Now at Spurs is struggling at a big club. You looked at what happened to Nuno when he left Wolves and went to Spurs. Struggled at a big club. Other managers too. Certain managers, they just aren't cut out for big clubs. That's not to say they're bad managers or anything, but the pressure of managing a big club, the expectation of managing a big club can be a lot. And I think a lot of these managers often struggle, So I think Iraola is a good manager, but I think he should stay at Bournemouth because I think that's about his level. If he wanted to step up, I'm sure he could look at somewhere like a Spurs where he could do well. But for Liverpool, for Manchester City, I just don't think he is a caliber of manager that is needed at them clubs. So I feel he was being a tad bit overrated by everyone. When Bournemouth were flying, when they were doing very well, all sorts of talks about Iraola this, Iraola that. They've now very quickly died down, and I think we all realise that while he's a good manager, he's not an elite manager. He's not up there with the likes of the you know who's. So again, I wouldn't take him at Liverpool personally. I think there are much better options out there in the market that Liverpool should be looking at. Same with Manchester City. Same with Manchester United too. If Iraola wanted to step up, I'm sure he could look somewhere else in the Premier League where he could step up. But I think he's doing well at Bournemouth. He's doing good at Bournemouth, and he should probably stick there because if if he wants to step up, you only have to look at what's happened to Thomas Frank. So good at Brentford. He now looks like a complete shell of himself over at Tottenham. So does Iraola really want to risk that happening to him? Probably not. So he should stay at Bournemouth. I think he's doing well there and he can continue on there. We'll see where it goes with him though, honestly. I don't think he'll be the Liverpool manager, next Liverpool manager anyway. I don't think City will look at him. If there are any clubs that will look at Iraola, I can see Spurs definitely looking at him should they decide to get rid of Thomas Frank and move on from him. I could see Manchester United potentially looking at him as well. I think the way he plays football, I think he would probably be someone that United looked at. Of course, he plays a back four, doesn't play a three at the back. So he's definitely someone I think United would look at. But for Liverpool, personally for me, no. No, good manager, but that's about it. But moving on elsewhere, I don't know if people have seen it. I will be doing a short on it later, but Andrew Robertson is looking very, very close to now moving to Tottenham, completing a move to Tottenham this window. I'll be honest, I woke up, saw the news. It shocked me. It genuinely shocked me because that was something I didn't expect to be waking up to seeing, that Andrew Robertson could be moving to Spurs. Now, I'm not against Andrew Robertson completely leaving. I look at his age, I look at where he is. I'm not against it. He is coming on. He is coming towards the end of his time at Liverpool. But it's more so how the window has gone so far and where Andrew Robertson is going. Atletico Madrid in the summer, I understood it. I can't understand why he would be wanting to go to Spurs. Doesn't really make sense. It's a very, very odd move for me. And from the club, it's poor because we're letting Andrew Robertson go and we're leaving the window weaker defensively than we were when we started the window. Now, Costa Simicas is expected to come back from his loan from Roma to replace Andrew Robertson. So we're doing a like for like by the looks of it, letting Robertson go, bringing Costas back in as a replacement. So we will have Costas and Kirkes there. But honestly, I'd rather have Robbo as a backup over Costas. While I like Costas, I'm not necessarily sold on him being good enough long term. So it's a bad move by the club, in my opinion, because all we're doing is swapping out like for like, and we're replacing a backup with someone who is also a backup but not as good as a backup. So it's not good. But what I will say is, for Robertson, if he is to move on, which is likely, just want to thank him for all of his services at the club. From 2017 onwards, since he joined, he's been nothing but a great servant. The trophies he's won with Liverpool down the years, the performances he stepped up on the big stages for us. I remember Barcelona 4-0, other games too. Just been a pure class servant for this football club, and he will be missed. So If it is goodbye, thank you for all of the memories, Robbo, and good luck in your final chapter of your playing career by the looks of it. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. I'll be doing a short on that and giving my full opinion on it as well in the short. So stay tuned for that after this. But going back to the game, everyone. From a Liverpool aspect, I spent quite a bit talking about Bournemouth there, about 10 minutes, which is odd. But yeah, from a Liverpool aspect going into this game, we come into this one league-wise off the back of a 1-1 draw at home to Burnley last weekend, which wasn't good enough. But we did win midweek, got a very, very nice win in the Champions League, 3-0 away at Marseille. So I just don't know. I don't know what type of Liverpool are going to turn up for this game. We can get another performance like Marseille, where we're just great, or we could get a performance like Burnley. Now, granted, Champions League games are a lot different than Premier League games. It's a lot easier to perform in a UCL game and to up your game there than in a league game. So, honestly, if you ask me what type of Liverpool's going to turn up for this game, I'd be more prone to saying the Liverpool that we saw prior to the Marseille game. So, Burnley, Leeds, Fulham, etc. Because I just feel like in the Champions League, we're raising our game, but in the Premier League, we're not raising our game, if that makes sense. So I can see this being a difficult game. A couple of weeks ago, when Bournemouth were doing very well, I would have been absolutely crapping it going into this game away from home too. But since then, them having fallen off, not being as good as they were, I'm a little bit less worried. However, knowing Liverpool, knowing the way we are, I'm still very, very, very aware of the fact that we'll go there and we'll probably make the game a lot harder than it needs to be. On paper, we should be winning this game. We should be going there, getting the 3 points. However, will we do that? I don't know. We've drawn at home to Burnley. We've drawn at home to Leeds. We drew away to Fulham. All teams that are struggling this year, and we've gone and dropped points against them. So, am I confident going away to Bournemouth? Probably not, because we do not know what could happen. I hope we can win, but it's just a Liverpool thing, isn't it? Make things harder than they need to be. You know, I hope we play similar to how we did against Marseille, where when we have the ball, we move it forward quickly with intent. I can't be seeing what we saw against Burnley. We cannot be playing like that, or against Leeds, or other games prior to that. Cannot keep doing that. So there has to be a tactical tweak going into this game too. Um, we'll see where it goes, and we'll see what the manager has in store. Um, we have to win. We have to get back to winning ways in the Premier League. We are Apologies, people. Apologies. StreamYard just done an absolute madness and lagged me out yet again. This it really bugs me. StreamYard, fix up, man. Fix up. But yeah, apologies. I'm back now, people. What I was saying is we need to get back to winning ways. Get that winning feeling back in the Premier League, and we go from there. Go from there because our top four rivals are right behind us, and the more we drop points, the more ground they are likely to gain on us going forward. So, if I just bring up Bournemouth's fixtures, by the way, people, because I just wanted to show you guys whereabouts Bournemouth are at in the table, um, and what I mean when I say they've fallen off. So, these are Bournemouth's fixtures in the last couple of games. Now, if I just go up a bit more, here, prior to that Manchester City game, they were actually playing very well. Ever since they lost to Manchester City away, their form has just completely dropped, completely gone down the toilet. So you look at that, Villa away, lose, West Ham, Sunderland, Bournemouth, Everton, Chelsea, Manchester United, Burnley, Brentford, Chelsea again, forgot that even more, Arsenal, Tottenham. Obviously, they got knocked out in the Carabao Cup, Brighton as well. So ever since they lost to Manchester City 3-1 at the Etihad, their form has gone right down the toilet. It's just completely evaporated. So, yeah, not too confident for that one because when a team's on bad form, usually against us, they step up and they put in a decent display. So, I'm not confident. I'm genuinely not confident at all. But yeah, having said all of that, people, and I wanted to give you guys my predicted lineup for the video. So, if I can just bring up the predicted lineup. Apologies, everyone. I just want to get it done before StreamYard does a madness and lags me out again. I do hope you guys can still hear me, by the way. I hope you guys can still hear me and it hasn't done the sound thing that it usually does, where it cuts my sound off. But yeah, this is my predicted lineup, people, for the game. As you can see, a very, very, well, a different lineup, a different formation for once. I think against Marseille away, we did this formation of 4-3-3, just what we did last season when we were doing so well, and it worked. It worked perfectly. So, honestly, when something's going good, when you find something that works, what do? You stick with it. You don't tinker with it. You don't change it. And I think that's what the manager should do for this game. So, the team for tomorrow's game, obviously, Alisson Becker in goal. Of course, no surprises there. Jeremy Frimpong at right back, doing so well. Since he came back from his injury, he's been so good for us. And I'm very happy to say that with Bradley out, Frimpong has really stepped up and it's great to see. I did say give Jeremy Frimpong a bit of time and he will come good. We will see why we signed this guy. And now that he's back from his injury and ever since he's been back, he's been very good. We're seeing why we signed him. Very versatile player, a very, very solid player, always giving 100%. Well, so far he's given 100% in every game I've seen him in. So, Frimpong at right back. Hopefully, he can even get another goal, another assist, because he's done so well in that aspect as well since coming back. Moving into the centre-back pairing, I've gone with Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez now. Obviously, with the news about Ibrahima Konate's father, by the way, condolences to Ibrahima Konate. Hope he knows that the entire Liverpool family is behind him during this time. I put football aside when things like this happen. Whatever I think about Konate's performances on the pitch, I take it out. This is the loss of human life, so fingers crossed Konate is okay. Hopefully he takes all the time he needs to get over this, and hopefully the players, the club, and the fans will be behind him and stick by him because this is bigger than football. So condolences to Konate. I don't think he'll be back for this game, and understandably so when something like that has happened. So I think we see Gomez and Virgil partner each other for this one, which is good because we actually kept a clean sheet midweek away from home in the Champions League with that centre-back pairing. So fingers crossed they can put in another solid display here. Moving to left-back, obviously with Robbo looking like he's going to complete his move to Spurs, it will be Milos Kerkez playing at left-back, and I believe it will be Milos Kerkez left-back now for the majority of the season. With Robbo and Kerkez, we interchanged a lot, but now with Costas coming back, I don't think the manager will be interchanging as much. So I think we are now going to see Kerkez playing week in, week out. So if Kerkez plays at left back and he's looking better, gradually, game by game, he is improving, which is good to see. Moving into the midfield, This midfield from last season when we won the league was so pivotal in us winning the league. So good. And we saw it again against Marseille. It was very good. Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, and McAllister. This is the duo that I want to see. We did this for the Villa game, I believe, was it? The Villa game and the Madrid game. And you saw a difference in the way we played. Why the manager hasn't done this sooner? No idea. Genuinely no idea. But now, with Salah back, I believe we'll see this midfield do again. Will the manager do this, by the way? I don't know. I hope he would have some common sense and do it. He'd stick with something that works, but honestly, I can see him tinkering with things again, which again will be very, very disastrous because that performance midweek, the team midweek was perfect. Stick with that for the next couple of games. But knowing Slot, he'll probably change something. But I hope he goes with that midfield three because they were very good against Marseille on Wednesday, in my opinion. So that's the midfield three: Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, and McAllister. Moving up top, I've gone with Mohamed Salah off the right wing. Now, he started on Saturday. I was surprised that Saturday. He started on Wednesday against Marseille. I was a bit surprised because I thought maybe Slot would want to ease him back into it. Maybe Slot would want to rest him, give him a couple of minutes off on the bench, and then bring him in for this game. But Slot started him against Marseille. Didn't have a great game against Marseille, so I think he starts this one again. Hopefully, Salah can have a better game this time around, and he can prove his worth again in the team. Obviously, coming back from the AFCON, having missed out with Egypt is going to affect him. So I'd imagine there's some little jet lag there. But for this one, I think Salah starts. Don't see a reason why he doesn't start. And hopefully, fingers crossed, he can have a good game. Off the left, I've gone with Florian Wirtz. Now, interestingly, with Cody Gakpo back, he doesn't seem to be getting as much game time as I thought he would. I thought the second he came back, he'd be straight into the team. But he's been on the bench in a lot of games. He's had the odd start here and there. But Wirtz off the left for me, I'd much rather see Florian Wirtz there. A lot more creative, not as predictable as Gakpo. Just for me, anyone but Gakpo for left wing. So I'm going to go with Florian Wirtz as well. It's not his natural position. I do think he drives more in the 10, but again, he can do a job off the left, and I'd rather see him than Cody Gakpo. Bring Gakpo on off the bench, on as a bench player again. And up top, a striker, I've gone with Hugo Ekitike. So that is the team that pretty much played against Marseille midweek. Don't change it, Slot. Just stick with it. It worked so well. We got a good 3-0 win and a clean sheet. Just stick with something that works. Please don't chop and change. So fingers crossed that's the team that plays. And we should be able to beat Bournemouth with that team. Will we though? I genuinely cannot say. Yeah, if I just remove that. So now, as we reach the end of the match preview, obviously I have to give my score prediction. A good win in midweek against Marseille. A very good win in midweek against Marseille, actually. Can we replicate that? Can we take momentum from that game into this one? I don't know. I feel like we're in for another shock. Genuinely. I think this will be a good game. I think there will be goals. But I don't think Liverpool win. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw for this one. I just feel Bournemouth, it's written in the stars. They're not been great recently, but they play Liverpool and they put in a good shift and get something. I think Liverpool, that performance midweek, I don't think we're going to replicate it. I think it's more likely we see the Liverpool of old revert for this game. So I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I think it'll be a good game. I think there will be goals. I do think Salah will bag, but I'm going to go with a 2-2. Now, that's not great because we need the win, and a 2-2 draw will definitely send the fans into meltdown again, but I just don't think we win this one. I just don't think we win it, so I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. But let me know your score prediction down below. Let me know your thoughts and feelings ahead of the game too. And of course, let me know what team you would start tomorrow ahead of tomorrow's game. Let me know everything down below in the comments. As we've reached the end of the match preview, also drop a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel. Only 8 subs away from 600 people, so if you can sub, it's much appreciated. And of course, get down below in the comments. I'm going to head off, people, as that is it for today. I'll be back tomorrow after the game with my match reaction. So stay tuned for that, everyone. Match reaction dropping after hopefully Liverpool pick up 3 points. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, like, subscribe, and comment on your way out. TLP out. Speak to you guys tomorrow. Up the Reds. Big up to all of you guys. Bye for now. See you soon.